I'm going to tackle this mess of tomatoes today and let them try to breathe in there. But there's so many. Well, I'll show you afterwards if I can do a good job. And then we can expose some of the tomatoes that are in there. Well, it looks a bit better. Still more I can do, and I will. And I'll explain how I got it into such a mess in the first place. I did have a reason. We have such extreme winds, and those winds, well, they will suck out any water that's in the soil, any moisture at all. And we have cool nights. I think we were 10 degrees. Was it last night? So tomatoes don't always do great for me. So I'm always trying different things. So I sort of intense planted them a bit closer this year and let them do their thing, because I wanted it to insulate for heat, for water, and to protect each other from the wind. And it kind of has worked. I probably should have come out and cut the leaves a little sooner, but they're fine. And I just want the tomatoes to ripen at this point now. We get tail ends of hurricanes here in the summer, and you know, my Brussels sprouts, my sunflowers, the bean pole fell over, the plants are tilted, and they just really suffer here in the wind, and there's nothing I can do about that. But this seemed to have worked, so I'll just show you some of the tomatoes that we can now see. Well, first of all, I was pleasantly surprised by forgetting what was in here. By cutting away, I've exposed some of the plants that are here. So here's some jalapenos, which I need to cut those. I've got, let's see, some big Thai chilies there, purple basil. Now I knew this squash was here and it's on the end, and it's been fine. I just make sure, and I have another one on the other end, that it gets pollinated should we ever get female flowers. Not looking good. And let's see. Oh, here's my blue spice basil, which I love for my tea. I've been hunting in there and cutting it out, but now it can grow a bit better again. So here's some of the tomatoes. Hopefully they can breathe and color up now. I'm trying to do this without sticking my hand. Okay. So that's a bit better for them, isn't it? Still flowers coming. And I get out of the shadow there. I wish I could tell you what all these were, but they had a hard start to the season. And then I had some yellow tomato plants inside. I've put those in here, and I'm not sure who survived and who didn't. These are lovely. This might be the yellow tomatoes I put here. It's the first time growing them, so I had a few plants there. This plant has a lot on it, actually. And then this is the only, I forget the name. The orange sweet ones. You know what I mean. It's the only one that survived. It was so sad looking. And I've had them fight for their lives before, so I did it again, and sure enough, it's doing well. I also exposed some cucumbers, some Tiny Tim tomatoes. Wait, there's another one here. Let me go back here. These poor things. Didn't even know they were in there. And I have a few plants of Genovese basil in there. They can now see and breathe. For some reason, there's a carrot in there. This squash was covered in leaves, but I have been checking to make sure if it needs pollination. Not yet. So, just the tomato plants have done so much better by having them cocooned in their own leaves. Now, I may have just stressed this plant a bit too much with all the hacking I just did. Hopefully it'll be okay. And they're down inside, and so really looking like a better tomato year. I just may do this method again. Have them protect themselves with their own foliage. I'm just starting to get some more beans here. I'm going to make hot, spicy pickled beans. But I realize it's time to get this monster of a parsnip that I didn't plant. I think it came up from last year, so it might just be a mess. It might have gone to seed. I don't know. But it's time to get it out of the bean bed. I called in Bruce to help me get it out. I don't know if it's edible. I'll check that out, cut it off and check it out when I get inside. But at least it's out of the poor bean bed. Now I'm up here at the back of my flower bed. And early in the season, I thought that was what was coming out from under this rock that I couldn't pull from last season was a standard storage onion. And I thought I was going to see some little flowers for the bees to enjoy. And instead, I quickly realized it was a crazy large walking onion. So as I'm gathering today I'm slowly gathering these actually each day, my multiplier onions, and I'm just throwing them in this basket to dry. So I'm not going to let these go to waste. This one I found on the ground. I could plant these, but I have enough Egyptian walking onions. And these are so big and beautiful. They're gorgeous onions. So, you know me, not going to let any go to waste. Oh, I don't know about that one. And they're drying on their own here. Aren't they great? I'll take these little ones too. I just don't need any more walking onions. They can get away from me. So, more to add for my dried small onions. So there's the harvested beans today, and I'm going to make some more of these. We've already gotten into previous jars that I've made, even before they're fully cured, I think. There's the crazy parsnip. But you know what? There's some meals there. And it's perfectly fine, perfectly solid. It just got away. And the walking onions, which they're so large, these ones. And I'm pleased. So that plant will stay up there and produce more each year. I just am not going to let them do their walking. Just going to pick some Swiss chard while I have a coffee break here. These poor carrots are popping out. I better pull them. Ugh. Ooh, nice. I'm just going to pull this middle one that's not looking so great. So thinking of what we're going to eat today, some more harvest. I've got some potatoes I picked, lettuce, kale, green onions, broad beans just to put away, some turnip, and carrots. And now I got to think of what am I going to make. Okay, well, I brought that part of the harvest in. I did go back for my jalapenos, but there's still lots of this lovely day remaining, so I'm going to get back out there, see what else I can harvest. But I thought I'd bring you along for this portion, and I'm going to now have to figure out what I'm going to cook. But thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you soon.